evening, everyone. We're going to get started. Welcome to the Bedford Playhouse for anyone who hasn't been here before. I'm Marie Scanlon, the CEO. I want to thank our many local synagogues, including the Chabad, Shrei Tevila, Mount Kisco, Hebrew Congregation, for getting the word out. And we will have the program, this film, for the rest of the week. We've shown it all weekend, and it'll be here for several more days if anyone else you know wants to see it. But I'd like to introduce Victor Kabi of the End the Silence Project, who will be introducing our speaker tonight. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Marie, and I want to thank everyone for coming. On behalf of End the Silence Project, Chabad of Bedford, Mount Kisco Hebrew Congregation, welcome. This is a very important film. When I first heard about the film, we went to Marie and said, Marie, we got to get this film. And unlike some other places, Marie right away said, yes, we got to get this film. And so we have to really apply. And End the Silence Project has put on, I think, 6 or 7 events since October 7th. And they've all been here at the Playhouse. So Marie and the Playhouse have been a tremendous partner with us, and thank you so much. Thank you, Marie. So just logistics. Before I introduce our speaker, Dr. Mandel will speak for about 20 minutes. Then we'll show the film, and then he was kind enough to volunteer to stay afterwards for some questions and answers for whoever wants to stay. And I think it'll be well worth it. So Dr. Eric Mandel is the director of the Middle East Political Information Network. He regularly briefs members of Congress, their foreign policy aides, and the State Department. Eric is the senior security editor for the Jerusalem Post, the Jerusalem Post magazine, and is a regular contributor to The Hill, JNS, and I-24 News. Dr. Mandel regularly meets with Israeli intelligence, defense, and political leaders in and out of government and travels throughout the Middle East. Since October 7th, he's been on the front line with the IDF 6 times on Israel's northern Iranian border, in the south with elite units in Gaza and Judea and Samaria, and was a first-hand witness to the massacre on October 7th in Sderot. Since October, he's spoken to 12 universities about the Middle East and anti-Semitism. And for 10 years, he was the chair and co-chair of Stand With Us in New York, an international organization dedicated to fighting anti-Semitism. So we're so pleased to have Dr. Mandel with us, and please welcome him, and join me welcoming him, and thank you very much.
I just want to make sure everyone can hear me. Great. Okay, so first of all, good evening.
Now we can.
Now we can.
Now we can.
Are you plugged in?
Green? Hello?
Now we can.
Okay.
Better?
Again, can you hear me?
No.
Through the mic.
Switch out. Just try again.
I have a loud voice. I'd be a great
No,
pulpit
we got it.
rabbi.
We got it.
So,
There you go.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Great. Okay. So, thank you. First of all, good evening. I want to thank Dr. Victor Kabi for inviting me and for what End the Silence does. I want to thank the Bedford Playhouse, Dan and Marie. It sounds like it should be obvious, something that's desired by the public and wants to bring a documentary like this, but Bedford Playhouse is showing really just good moral leadership, so thank you. So before watching the documentary, I want everyone to understand what's been going on the college campus before October 7th and how it happened. So while we, of us who are American Jews, were enjoying the fruits of assimilation here, we were overall ignoring the warning signs of the coming storm. The epidemic of anti-Jewish hatred did not come out of nowhere. The majority of religious hate crimes in the United States, from FBI statistics, year in and year out, were against American Jews. So if you added up all of the religious hate crimes against Muslims and Sikhs, Christians, or whatever group, every single year, they never added up to as many religious hate crimes for a long time as against Jews. Yet Jews represent all of 2.6% of the population. And anti-Semitism on the college campus did not begin on October 8th. What we saw on October 8th was the culmination of decades of indoctrination and demonization, where fringe ideologies which were rife with Jewish hatred, like DEI and intersectionality, moved into the mainstream. Unbeknownst to most of us, faculties and anti-Israel organizations were weaponizing anti-Israel narratives, punishing those that did not follow along. Professors became activists, not educators, while cowardly administrators allowed anti-Semitism to allowed anti-Zionism to morph into anti-Semitism. Diversity of opinion was scorned. What started in the Middle East studies departments moved into the humanities, even into the hard sciences, moved into high schools, middle schools, and even primary schools. Did you know that over 30 years ago, there was a document published by the Muslim Brotherhood called The Project? It was a 100-year plan to expand its influence in the West through lots of different means, including cultural and political engagement. It was kind of to destroy the West from inside, and focusing on the Palestinian issue was primary to this project. I have seen this firsthand. As was mentioned, I've been going to and speaking at universities for, I guess, decades now, 12 since October 7th. And again, I was the chair of Stand With Us, and its raison d'etre is fighting the mainstreaming of anti-Zionism and the BDS movement in schools and intimidation of Jewish students. Before October 7th, there were no safe spaces on campuses for kids who were Zionists. Microaggressions could get you kicked out of school, but a macroaggression against a Jewish kid was either ignored or rationalized. Jewish students needed help. Just to give you a picture, and I just think so many people think October 8th was the beginning, but it had been going on for so long. Stand With Us had over 200 pro bono lawyers well before October 7th who were on call helping Jewish students who were dealing with anti-Semitic actions on college campuses. And anti-Semitism was in plain sight. 10 years ago, at the Brandeis Center for Human Rights, along with Trinity College in Connecticut, they did a study, and over 50% of the Jewish kids that they surveyed at 55 of the leading campuses had either witnessed or experienced anti-Semitism. Before and after October 7th, the strongest predictor of a hostile climate to Jewish kids was the presence of an active Students for Justice in Palestine, SJP. So what's SJP? So I think Noah Tishby, I took a quote of what she called it. She said, SJP is a hate group grooming American college students to hate Israel, to hate America, and to hate Jews. And to give you an idea, the national leadership of SJP said, quote, after October 7th, this is a historic win for the Palestinian resistance. So who funds Students for Justice in Palestine? It was created by American Muslims for Palestine. It helped expand its influence on college campuses and helped organize and support those violent and anti-Semitic demonstrations that you saw. At least 9 individuals with ties to AMP and its sister group AJP have alleged past or present ties to Hamas. That means that nonprofits linked to Hamas are channeling tax-free donations to Students for Justice in Palestine. Here in Westchester, Westpac has been doing it for decades. The Tides Foundation, AMP, and Jewish Voice for Peace, a total misnomer. So in the anti-colonial world permeating college campuses, if you don't subscribe to anti-Zionism, you're immoral. Jews are white, supporting an illegitimate colonialist settler Jewish state. And boycotting Israel was going on when people were looking away. Between 2013 and 2017, about 10 years ago, these were the academic organizations that were already boycotting Israel. The Association for Asian American Studies, the American Studies Association, Native American and Indigenous Studies Association, the National Chicano Studies Association, National Women's Association, Modern Language Association, and that's just a small part. Boycotting, and nobody was really paying much attention. And a fundamental pillar to understand how all of this was going on is that you need to understand the theory of intersectionality. Intersectionality means all victimized and oppressed peoples must unite. Palestinians are the most victimized people. Every victim must ally with Palestinians, and justice for the oppressed Palestinians alone. So in this Orwellian world, we have a world of people who choose their own set of facts and whitewash facts that seem inconvenient. So for example, many people will say, well, all of this would have been, none of this would have ever happened if there was a Palestinian state. But a fact in context is, Palestinians were offered states in 47, 48, 67, 2000, 2001, 2007. Or talking about Palestinian polls of Palestinians, which showed pre-October 7th, there was one poll that showed 75% of Palestinians, unfortunately, were in favor of terrorism against Jewish civilians. So I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell two stories tonight. One